All right, it is officially showtime. What is up, everyone, and how's it going? Welcome to a brand new edition of 27 Outs. I, of course, am Ivan alongside Stefan. It's been about 5 days now, I think, since we did our last show. And thankfully, because for those of you who were rocking with us last week, it was a very busy week. As you know, we were talking about it damn near every day that we had to hit the mics. But you know what? You guys did show up, not only in the live show, of course, as we always appreciate it, but also via the clips that we put out after the fact, right? So shout out to all of you for also putting in just as much work as Stefan and I do, right, on the mics by supporting us how you guys always do. With that being said, as you can tell by the title of tonight's show, we are going to be all over the place. Not exactly, because, tonight's show we don't get to say this too often, but it's gonna be based in New York heavily when it comes to the Yankees, when it comes to the Mets. Boy, what a crazy 24 hours it has been with the Mets. Going back to what they did late last night to land Luis Robert to put him in their outfield. Just a few minutes ago, Stefan reaches out and he's like, yo, this might actually become official with Freddie Peralta now being a Met. And here we are, 27 outs is live and Freddie Peralta is a Met now. So listen, we have a lot to get into. Hopefully we have fun tonight. Quick disclaimer, Stefan, before I pass it over to you. Listen, we're going to have Yankee fans in the chat tonight. We're also going to have Mets fans. We want all 30 fan bases in here if we lived in a perfect world, right? But since we are going to have both sides in here, listen, nothing is wrong with a little bit of trash talk. If you're feeling confident, whether you're a Mets fan, feel confident, whether you're a Yankee fan, and I mean, I don't really know if Bellinger going back to the Bronx is that big of a deal. But anyway, if you feel confident about that, say what you got to say. But as Stefan always says, let's keep it respectful, right? So, Stefan, take it away and really start with, what we just found out, right? I'm sorry to give it away, but we have to.
As you can see, I'm not here to play with y'all tonight. But we about our business. This came down. This officially came down, if you can tell by the tweet, at about, I want to say, yeah, about a quarter to 10. So this seems about right. And look, guys, this is why you can't count an off season done. You can't say an off season's finished. You can't do all that until the off season actually gets finalized. Because then you get a sonic boom like this, and we all end up looking stupid in the face, me included. Boy, what a week for David Stearns. You went from get this guy, we railroaded him. Yo, get him out of town. Nemo gone, Diaz gone. What the hell's he doing? Alonso gone. Guess what? Guess who's here though, right? Guess who's here though? You now have a frontline starter, ace, in Freddie Peralta. Good luck. Oh, and by the way, Luis Roberts is a huge bounce back candidate. Good luck. Oh, by the way, Tobias Myers is a flamethrower that's going to pitch in the 7th and 8th inning. Good luck. Oh, by the way, did I mention Bo Bichette's now a Met today? He was introduced. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck hating the Mets, because I can't hate them today. And if you do, you're just miserable. David Stearns went to the Godfather playbook and got busy. Shouts to him. Shouts to Steve Cohen. I guess when Steve Cohen saw smoke, he knew what he was talking about. I guess the building was on fire, because them brothers have not stopped working since then. Damn, what a week. Wow.
You want to close this, bro?
Enough for sharing this. I just wanted to give us some love. But
yeah, no, to add on to what you said, Sox fan is not here. Hopefully he stops by tonight. But, to go back to something that he said maybe about a week and a half ago to 2 weeks ago. And at the time, of course, we were talking about the Red Sox. But I think what he said at that, in that very moment, still stands today, right? In this case, with the Mets, of course, as we get into, what they've been doing over the past couple of days or, as Stefan said, week rather. But it's only January, right? And while it did seem crazy, it did seem like the Mets didn't know what in the world they were doing at one point this offseason. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a Mets fan, but that did certainly cross my mind where I looked at what was going on and I said, "Well, what is happening?" But here
Mm,
we are, right? Brand new year, brand new month, still in the middle of an off season, and there were still things that were available, right? Whether it be via free agency, whether it be
mhm,
via trade, as we just found out a few minutes ago, and
mhm.
credit the Mets for, trying to figure this thing out, multiple ways.
Listen, and this is how you know you attack weaknesses, right? Because I guess David Stearns, he took everything that everybody said and he kept saying, yo, it's a long off season. We got a lot of work we still can do. Uh we got things that we can still finalize if things go our way. And listen, things went their way. But here's the one thing I will tell you. Listen, you have to come to grips with you have to be aggressive in this market, right? You have this market is you can't play around, right? Especially in New York, especially when Stearns did what he did at the beginning of the season, the tear down, the straight Machiavellian moves. Diaz, no thanks. Nemo, you're old. You're injury prone. Alonzo, I'm good. The question is, what does he do to augment this? Because I still think they need one more starting pitcher. And this is where if you're David Stearns, if you're Steve Cohen, my next call is to Framber Valdez. Wrap this, get as close to the Dodgers as you could possibly get with your rotation. You can't match them offensively, but if you can pitch with them and your bullpen is solidified enough, you can do some work, right?
Also, too, credit to the Mets as well, because you did just mention the Dodgers there, Stefan. And earlier today, I did put out a clip because for a second, we had been hearing for a couple of days now that the Dodgers were making a serious push. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, in this case, it was the Mets who ultimately won when it was all said and done.
Right,
But
right, right.
credit to them for remaining involved, not because I kind of feel like a lot of teams shy away once they hear that the Dodgers involved, right? Like, oh, we don't stand a chance. Like, we already know where these guys want to go at the end of the day. But
Right.
boy, to not allow them to get Freddie Peralta and you get him to go to Queens instead, that's big.
Also, I think there's an extension that's about to be worked out here.
Oh, yeah, you have to.
Because like I said, when we talked about this a couple days ago, Ace's agency represents Freddie Peralta. He is represented by Aces. Aces is not Scott Boras. Aces is not any of the big guys. So what I would say is, hey, you know what? If we can get him to agree to an extension, we got the money. We can clearly do it. We can get him signed up. Boy, if you because listen, you don't give up a Brandon Sproat and a Jet Williams if you know extending him is going to be extremely difficult. I don't know if this trade happens or I don't know if this package happens if Scott Boras or Casey Close are his agent.
Right.
The fact that his agency is willing to talk extension with you just lets you know, hey, we're on the verge of doing this. If we get him, we're gonna extend him. David Stearns knows him well. David Stearns drafted him in Milwaukee. Okay, there's a relationship there. So it just feels like Stearns was waiting for the right opportunity. And listen, you got him for 1 year for now, but I think the Mets get him done. I think the Mets get him done, and I think not only do I think the Mets get him done, I think the Mets get him for a nice. I'm not saying a bargain. I think it's going to cost them close to anywhere between 35 and 40 million dollars per year because he's their own player. But I'm going to tell you right now, you do not want to have him in an open market where all 30 teams can bid on him. Because although you have money, the Dodgers might go crazy and try to sign this dude in free agency just because they can, right? You don't want to play with all 30 teams now, not realistically all 30 teams, but at least 4 or 5 teams have the financial wherewithal to sign this dude. If you're the Mets, you got him in the perfect spot. You gave up a lot of, young capital for him. Now you got to get him finished. And I'm going to tell you something. Don't look at Tobias Myers' throwing. That guy can pitch. That guy can pitch, all right? That guy is something else. He's serious. You talking about high 90s fastball, high velo. The Mets did their thing. I
Yeah.
like this.
And I haven't heard, especially since this is something that literally broke again minutes before we went live tonight. I haven't seen too much in terms of how Mets fans and their reactions are in regards to what happened tonight and also last night. So hopefully I'll learn along as we go through tonight's show. Um, but listen, I think, call me crazy, and listen, there's no emotions involved, right? I'm optimistic. This is me sort of like, on the outside looking in. I know
Mm.
for Mets fans it may feel a little different because for some of the guys who did have to depart early this offseason, it hurt them, right? We had even experienced it with some of you guys who support us here on the show. But at
Right.
the end of the day, I think the Mets now, again, it has to play out, right? Because what's on paper doesn't always translate well when it comes to putting it onto a baseball field. But
Most
when I
definitely.
look at what they have right now, Bo Bichette, Marcus Simeon, Luis Robert Jr., finally you got your ace, as we mentioned, in Freddie Peralta. That sounds a whole lot better than, I know you guys may not agree. It sounds a whole lot better than having Pete Alonso, Brandon Nimmo. Maybe
Hmm.
the loss that might sting just a tad could be to Edwin Diaz more than others. But I think other than that, the Mets have become a better team. I love what they've done defensively. Yo, we
Hmm.
want to what was it that what was the slogan that David Stearns put out there to start the offseason?
We want to be better at run prevention. We want to
Run
stop people.
prevention.
We
Luis
want to stop
Robert
people.
Jr., he brings that defensively. Even
Yep.
though he is, listen, I gotta be honest, right? Luis Robert Jr. is a guy who I've only seen him put it all together once. However,
Hmm.
here's where I am going to come to his defense credit. And Stefan, and you might actually agree with me here to a certain extent.
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
hoping that Luis Robert now going to the Mets and having the opportunity to play alongside a Juan Soto, a Francisco Lindor. I don't
Hmm.
know how he feels about Freddie Peralta, but Freddie Peralta, he's a heck of a pitcher. He's been good for a few years now. I wonder if that's something that kind of rejuvenates him.
Yeah, yeah,
Where,
yeah.
yo, maybe he actually, I'm not saying that Luis Robert Jr. was lying about his injuries, but maybe he actually wants to stay on the field longer.
So this is what I'll say. I'm not gonna go as far as you did, bro, because I'm not gonna question nobody's injuries because these guys are all competitors and they're all professionals. And guess what? By Luis Robert being as hurt as he was, it hurts him from getting future earnings just because he can't stay on the field. Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I will I will tell you this, right? I'm gonna be honest with you. And this is what made my ears perk up in a beautiful way. Luis Robert does not have to be the man now. You could tell Luis Robert, yeah, you're in our 6 hole, our 5-6 hole. All you have to do is catch the baseball and hit 25 home runs for me this year. And we win. You don't got to be the man. The franchise is not on your shoulders. That's why Lindor's here. That's why Soto's here. That's why Bo is here. That's why these guys are here. All you need to do is be productive. And if you are productive, guess what? You're going to be one of the better players in the game because he is only 28 years old. The Mets did assume all of the money, right? And the one thing I'll say that made me happy or made my heart like, all right, this is good, is now New York may unlock him, yo. Now he may be around other Latin players, other players that understand his struggle, understand what he's going through, understand how it is to be in the big leagues, understand all of that. Because I'm not saying Chicago doesn't. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, hey, maybe this gets him to feel like, hold on, I'm rolling out here with you got Soto and right. You got now we talk about me in center. You put Carson Bench in left. Now we got a little something if you're the Mets. Oh, and by the way, it doesn't hurt that Lindor's my shortstop. It doesn't hurt that I got another veteran in Polanco that I could go to. I got veterans all around me that have done this at a high level. If you are the Mets, and like you said, Ivan, on paper, we can all sit here and oh, this sounds great. It sounds amazing. All this is true. But at the end of the day, right, we have to come to grips with the Mets have done it the right way. They've allowed themselves to rebuild this in a way in which, right, the veterans are at the forefront of this. Hey, Luis, just come in and do your job. And the same thing with Freddie. Like Freddie, yes, you got to be the man. You got to lead the staff. But if Fromberg comes in here now you got two proven winners on this staff. Now you got two guys that you go, listen, we're going to hand the ball to you two. Go get us the series win. Don't worry about it, young fella. Don't worry about it, McClain. Don't worry about it, Tong. These two young brothers, these two veterans, they got us. The Mets ain't playing, right? Because you went from, what are the Mets doing to, damn, Bo Bichette's my number 3 hitter. Now Luis Roberts my number 4 or 5 hitter. Now I got an ace at the top of the rotation. Now my infield glut is clear. I got a bunch of veterans in here that know how to do this. Boy, if you're the Mets, if you're not running around your room doing all types of cartwheels and acrobatic movements, I do not know, because I'm not a Met fan. I love baseball. I'm going to tell you, I love baseball. Don't let the sign in the back fool you. Yes.
They looking at you right now like, yo, this guy's set tripping tonight.
You know what? I'm set tripping, but I don't care because I love the game.
Mm-hmm.
No other baseball fan would be like, yo, you a hater. Why am I a hater? We criticized the Mets when they did bad. Now we're heaping all the praise on them when they do good. That's how it's supposed to be. And we're objective. They've had one of the best off seasons you can ever have. You went from the fan base hating you to now everybody wants to buy David Stearns a beer.
Yeah, if I had to do like a quick top 3 ranking, I'd do Dodgers. Probably a toss-up between the Blue Jays and the Mets for second. But yeah, the top 3, I'd say it'd be Dodgers, Mets, Blue Jays, just like that. Because I kind of feel like every other team, while we've seen a lot of things happen around the league, for the most part, these are the teams that have done exactly what they needed to do, right? Coming off of 2025.
Yep.
The Mets obviously knowing that the pitching played a big role in that downfall, especially in the second half.
Yep.
They looked like a completely different team. And what I also like about them landing Freddie Peralta now is this takes some of the weight off of, Nolan McClain's shoulders, right? Jonah Tong. Because, maybe 36 hours ago, it was looking like these guys were about to go into 2026 with the entire borough of Queens on their backs. Now, they're too young for that. But now you got a guy like Freddie Peralta. And as Stefan just said, hopefully you do more to lighten it even more.
Yeah.
And now you guys really look, it would be crazy to say. Now, we still have time to see if they do get another starter. But it would be crazy to say if you go into 2026 with Freddie as your 1, maybe Frambo, whoever as your 2. Imagine Nolan McClain as your 3. Yo, that is crazy.
Sproat as your 4, and
he's gone. He went to Milwaukee.
Tong is your 4,
right?
And I would say Sean Manaea is your 5th starter right now.
I want to know what they do with guys like Clay Holmes and David Peterson. Like, do we suddenly just throw these guys into the bullpen? Or
see that's the thing, right? Like,
I do think Clay Holmes is going to make the rotation. I think he makes it.
No, I think so too. But I hate to do this. You do it all the time. You got to know somebody's going to show up to Port St. Lucie with that elbow, something oblique, something. You know what I mean? Somebody's going to miss the first couple weeks, maybe a month. You rather have more options at your disposal than have less. And what David Stearns has done is he's given the Mets, you can literally say he's given the Mets 7 or 8 starters that can start for them on any given day. That's not a bad move. That's not bad. And look, the other thing that I'm intrigued with is, Jet Williams seems like he was never gonna crack the Mets. He was never gonna crack the team. Like, the infield was kind of figured out. You got Beatty, you got Vientos, you got Simeon. Like, there's a bunch of options in this infield, right? I'm asking this question now, right? Did the Mets just rid themselves of some unnecessary, I don't want to use the word baggage, but let's use the word luggage. Well, you got rid of Acuna. You got rid of Jet Williams. Sproat is the one that I kind of raise my eyes a little bit because usually when you trade starting pitching, that usually means I want to know how healthy he is.
Mm-hmm.
To give up on a guy that young, that made me that I have questions about that. But that's just me. That's just me being a cynic. Because usually when you give up on a guy that's that young, I have questions. But boy, they hit this out the park.
I knew whoever it was that they were gonna go after, and thankfully the prize ended up being Freddie Peralta, because what better prize than that? I mean, other than Tariq Skubal, right? But had they not gotten him, clearly to end up with a guy such as Freddie, like, you did yourself a hell of a job. But I must say too, at the same time, Freddie Peralta, he's now going into a situation. Now, he's a guy who has pitched in big moments. He's been there. He's done that. He's pitching big games for Milwaukee. As we know, the Brewers have been a playoff team for some time now. But I would like to see how everything translates to going from a small market such as Milwaukee now going to New York. Because, listen, say what you want about the Yankees being the team that people care about more, or if you're a Mets fan, the Mets are the team that people care about more, excuse me. All of that aside, both teams are heavily criticized, whether they're good or bad, right? And I just hope that Freddie Peralta's game is something that is able to adjust. And I personally, listen, he hasn't given me a reason to think otherwise. The only thing, and this is not really something that I'm using against him, is the difference in pitching in a small market again versus now a big market.
But that's why, to me, I want a Fromber. I want as we look at the Luis Robert trade, this we're gonna go back to this because something about this that fascinates me. It feels like to me that's why you need a veteran. You need one more veteran to tell Freddie, yo, it's all right. You don't gotta flip out. You don't gotta be the man. All you have to do is just do your job. I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm asking you to do your job. And the thing that I find fascinating is I think if you get a Framber Valdez, it allows him to do his job better. Because now we could be co-aces. He could be 1A, I could be 1B, or he could be 1B and I could be 1A. It don't matter how you slice it. But you got to walk out of here with two starting pitchers. If you're serious about trying to catch the Dodgers, trying to catch some of the best teams in baseball, you have to be serious about this. Oh, and by the way, I'm calling it right now. This brother's going to win Most Improved Player of the Year.
Luis Robert?
Yes.
Wow. I mean, listen, he is going to be in a lineup where it should only benefit him, right? Not to, discredit what the White Sox have been doing for some time now, but it just didn't work out, right? Like, remember in 2021 when they last went to the postseason and they won the American League Central? They had Yohan Moncada, Tim Anderson. They had a young Luis Robert. They had all of these guys, and it finally feels like the final piece that the White Sox were finally just waiting to get rid of was Luis Robert, because I think for like maybe 2 years now, Steph, and I want to give you some credit, we've been hearing about Luis Robert. Whether he went to the Mets or not wasn't your point, when you had originally mentioned it. Hence, kind of crazy how he ended up there regardless. But this was a guy who you had been talking about for some time. Yo, the White Sox want to get rid of him. He's injury prone. However, if he does put it all together, hell of a player. He's got speed. He's got defense. He's got power. So he's bringing a lot to that Mets offense. And, on the defensive side of things too.
Hey, we got a new one here. Welcome. We got Peralta. I'm not sure Stearns will go get another ace. I don't know about that. I'm not putting nothing past David Stearns. I'm not putting nothing past David Stearns.
And the other thing I want to say, too, when it comes to some of these other deals, because we just saw them get Luis Robert and Freddie Peralta. But, some people may feel a way when it comes to moving on from certain guys. You got to remember, a lot of these kids just aren't going to pan out, right? That's not a Met issue. It's just something that we see across the entire sport with all organizations, right? And also, look at who the Mets are trying to go after, right? They just literally landed Freddie freaking Peralta. You got to pay to play. You got to give up good things to get that back.
Yeah. And what I like is there's a fearlessness to David Stearns, right? There's we know the cost is going to be more than we want, but we got to do what we got to do. You pay to play. You can't be like, oh, I don't want to hold on. I want to hold on to this chip. Now, there's some chips you got to hold on to just for protection. Just if somebody gets hurt, you got to have somebody ready at the stopgap. But when you're sitting at the craps table, brother, you got to be willing to make an uncomfortable decision, right? And as soon as Kyle Tucker pissed in their Cheerios, they got busy and they stopped playing. And at some point, you have to applaud not only the moxie, not only the level of aggression, but also the level of cockiness that David Stearns is in here with.
Right.
David Stearns is in here talking about, I'm not sure if we can pull it off. I'm not sure if he was so coy during this Boba Fett press conference when he spoke to the media after the press conference was done. And I'm like, that's how you know David Stearns is good at poker, right? This dude knew all along, I got a nuke that's about to drop in about 10 hours. We working on it right now. We talking through names. Keep playing with me, y'all. And I got a nuke that's about to kill y'all. Oh, you thought Luis Robert was my nuke? No. Luis Robert is the appetizer. Here comes the real deal out here. And for anybody that says, oh, I think they're done, I think they did it. No. The one thing David Stearns always says, and they have him on record saying this, there is no such thing as done. So for everybody that says, oh, he's done, they're done position player wise. But would it surprise you if another ace level pitchers walking in Port St. Lucie at the start of spring training? No. David Stearns has put on a masterclass. He's done work. He's done it the right way. And the other thing I will tell you is I would feel very comfortable if I'm a Met fan right now. Because this guy has no emotional attachments to nothing. Winning is all he wants to do, and he's willing to cut off his own limbs to do it. You think he knew? You think he didn't know he was going to get the vitriol of, oh, you traded Nemo? Damn. You let Diaz go? Damn. You let Alonso go? Damn. And he didn't blink. The brother was just like, all right, bro. This is business. We got to do what we got to do. We know like these players weren't there for us. He knows. That's why you can't judge an off season when it's December 21st. You can't. We've made the mistake of doing that on the show. I think because we as fans, and I say we as fans, although I feel like me and Ivan are media now, we're reactionary like everybody else. We're human like everybody else. We want moves. We want action. We want everybody to get better like everybody else. But when the dust settles and you see what they have done, I have nothing but respect. I have nothing but praise. I have nothing but, and I got nothing but fear for David Stearns. You got to have the appropriate fear with this brother. Because now he got money. Now he can tell Scooby, yo, here's $450 million. Come pitch for me. Not saying they do it, but you got to have that fear.
Yeah, I wonder with the Mets landing Freddie Peralta now, right, instead of the Dodgers, I wonder if this is gonna light a fire, under the Dodgers. That now they say, yo, you know what? To really just screw this whole damn thing up, and now we're gonna get schooled. Yo, Mets fans, listen, you guys should be happy, but I do hope that the Mets didn't just press the wrong button and unleash the Dodgers, right? Because, boy, if they continue, which is no surprise, right? But if they continue, then you got yourselves a problem. But we'll see.
Read this comment for me.
Mets ain't done. Don't sleep. Yeah, shout out to y'all.
I love that. Because Myers is not a throw-in. I told you. This guy I'm going to make a bold prediction. Myers is going to take the closer job from Devin Williams at some point this year, and he might not get it back. That guy is that good. And we just take it for granted because Milwaukee's good at developing pitching. Boy, David Stern, you gotta love David Stearns. By the way, shout out Chef Mamba out here moderating for us. Get those thumbs up. Leave them comments in the chat. Chef Mamba, we see you out here. We see you out here. He's the
By the way, Liz, you're new here. Don't forget to subscribe. You're still sticking around, so it kind of seems like you're enjoying the content so far.
This is crazy. All right. Mets getting Littell or Giolito. I like Zach Littell. I think Zach Littell is more of an upside play, but I wouldn't mind if Giolito's where you go.
See, but I don't like either guy though. If I really had to choose out of what's still available, give me Zach Gallen. I would rather take a risk on a guy like Zach Gallen and have him as my. Because listen, if you're the Mets in this case, right?
With
the amount of guys that you already have, you already have at least maybe 2 guys in this case, maybe even 3 guys who are going to be ahead of him in the rotation. Okay, you're asking him to come be your number 4. That's perfect.
So, here's the thing I'll say though, I'm being serious. The qualifying offer is a big deal.
Oh, that's right. True. Yeah.
Zach Gallen has the qualifying offer attached, and I think Fromber does too. After the Mets just gave up all these prospects in these deals, do they want to forfeit a draft pick to sign one of these dudes? Like, play with that in your brain. Like, after all we done did, by the way, the Mets just signed the top shortstop in the international market. So they're going to use that. They use this money for something, right? So do you want to forfeit? Listen, Zach Gallen would be a nice piece, but the qualifying offer is a huge deal, and that's why he has not been signed yet.
Listen, if I'm the Mets, I do it for this one reason. Because if you're telling me one of those guys are the difference maker in the Mets being in the NLCS, excuse me, against the Dodgers, of course, right? Because ain't nobody else gonna make it if you're not named the Dodgers, right? But if that brings you all the way to the NLCS, I'll do it right now. I'll do it right now and forget about whoever that pick ends up being in the future. We live with it, at least for now.
Okay, since you're new, I got to put you on the spot. Liz, how are you tonight? I got to ask that to start off with. Don't mind us. We're a bunch of tyrannical animals that love ball. But what is your dream finish to the Mets, to this all season for the Mets? What is your dream? What is your dream? Wait. This is real? Wait. Hold up.
Giolito just got that? They brought him back?
Hold on. I'm looking right now. I'm looking because you know me.
I don't see anything.
Nah. I'm looking right now.
Or maybe.
Oh, that was his previous deal. Okay.
Yeah, the previous one. I was going there. Exactly.
Previous deal, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to say, whoa. Oh, yeah. Yankees girl don't like all this Met talk. But I'm sorry, we had to start Mets, y'all.
Right. We had to. It was only
that's what he had. All right. Because if there was news, I'd have got it. Somebody would have emailed me. I'd have stopped the show right now to break more news. By the way, don't sleep on this, but I'm hearing the Yankees are also close to acquiring a pitcher, and I think it's Mackenzie Gore.
Okay.
So both New York teams are trying to beef up the rotations. It's like an arms race right now. I love what the Mets did. I love what if you're a Mets fan, you should be excited. And the beautiful thing about it is, I've said this, the Mets are only going to get better because the resources aren't going to stop. Stearns is a young man. How old is David Stearns?
He got to be like what? His early 40s, maybe?
His early 40s?
Let's see. 40 years old.
That means he's going to be here for another 15, 20 years. putting foot to ass for the rest
Well,
of the
hopefully over the course of those, 15 years, perhaps he does win a couple of, World Series, because I think that's the only way he ends up sticking around for that long.
No, I got you, but I'm talking about in terms of the guy. If he's here for as long as we think he can be here, these are the moves he's gonna make. He's not afraid to make a move. He's not afraid to get uncomfortable. This is what David Stearns does. This is who he is. His foot square in all of y'all asses.
It's funny you say that too, because for the most part, a lot of comments that I read, a lot of the feedback that I would see coming from Mets fans in regards to what the Mets have done to this point so far in this offseason, it's all been, Stearns got to go. Get rid of him. What the hell is he doing? He came here and he made us worse instead of better. And it's like, well, maybe not, because if all goes well with everything that you've done, I think this team is going to be a lot better than last year's team.
I agree, and it's more well-rounded. It's more well-rounded, and the thing about it is like you have to come to grips with the idea that the dude sees, I got a plan, because everybody's asking, what's David Stearns' plan? His plan is, I can't say that, bro. I can't say that, because the Peralta deal wasn't a money deal. He made that deal straight up. That's a trade.
Luis Robert as well.
Luis Robert's a trade.
The Bo Bichette was Cohen. That was Cohen. And you said that too.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, right? If that's Cohen, that's them working together, because that's them knowing, we really want this player. We had our eyes set on this player, right? At some point, if you want the owner and the general manager working in, or president in this case, working in tandem together, this is what you want. This is what a good front office and a good owner should be doing. And also, it's some give and take. Maybe Cohen really wanted Bo. Maybe Stearns didn't want Bo. I'm not saying he didn't, but there's a lot of give and take. I'm telling you right now, I think this is a fair point, because everybody thought he was going to Philly, us included. Yeah. And you gotta give the front office credit for saying, you know what? Sometimes you don't want to let the cat out the bag. And you know what I love about the Mets too? And I'm gonna let you speak right now. The Mets don't leak nothing, bro. This front office is airtight. They go out and do it. Like Freddie was a name that they talked about, but you didn't know that they were gonna pony up until they got the deal done.
Right.
Like, that's why Stearns should be in charge of this. Right? Instead of Cohen live on Twitter, Stearns should be in charge of this, because Stearns ain't going to leak what happens. Stearns ain't going to give you all the, rumor has it. Ain't no rumor has it here. We about to tell the world. Tell everybody.
Right.
Cohen, just sit in the back and leave the checkbook open, my boy.
That's
look pretty for the press conference pictures. I got you, big dog. And that's why I kind of want Stearns to be at the forefront. Don't say nothing. Just shh. Let me work.
I do want to say something about the Bo Bichette deal, because I did read some quotes that came from Dave Dombrowski, and he said he was shocked. He was shocked to see that Bo Bichette at the end of the day chose the Mets over the Phillies, because he said we gave him what he asked for. Right? And what more could we do? Now, maybe Bo Bichette didn't want 200 over 7 years. Is Bo Bichette wanting 200 million? He got that from the Phillies. And then Dave Dombrowski went on to say that he was actually satisfied with what the Phillies had done to this point. Wow. When I read that, I was like, well, woo. I don't see how you guys. Now, listen, let's look at what they did. Adolis Garcia, right? You re-signed Kyle Schwarber. You re-signed Real Muto. You lost Ranger Suarez. He went to the Red Sox. So when I look at it, when it was all said and done, and listen, who knows what else is going to happen, right? Maybe they don't do much, or maybe they actually go out and do something else. But when I look at what they've done so far, I don't know how Dave Dombrowski, and listen, I know he's doing his job. He's gotta come off right. He can't sound crazy. But on the
Mhm.
outside looking in, as two guys who could say whatever the hell they want behind these mics, bro,
Mhm.
that Philly team ain't better than last year, bro. They're just not.
They're not better than last year, but let me ask you a question. I offered the guy what he wanted. He told me he wanted 6 and 7 and 2. I gave you what you wanted. What you want the brother to do. That's the only thing I will ask you in response. I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong or off base or any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Dombrowski gave the brother what he wanted, but he said, "Nah, I'm good." And for the first time, probably in a long time, the Phillies got used. And the fan base can't take it. They crashing out of the Mets. He went to the Mets. The fan base is crashing out. Philly, you got used, bruh. He used you. Yeah, he got, you're upset because you gave him what he wanted, but at the end of the day, it wasn't enough. With the big checkbook bag and said, hold that.
Yo, could you imagine if Bo Bichette, he walked into that meeting last week with the Phillies and he already knew that he had the Mets on the side, but he just used the meeting as a way to see where the Phillies are at? Because
Right.
he just wanted to see what that would look like compared to what he got from the Mets.
Absolutely right. Absolutely
Damn.
right. This is why I tell you, negotiations are straight up leverage plays. We're going to get to it in a second. Scott Boras, he talking about, yo, we got 7 years out here for Cody. Yo, I got a 6-year deal out here for Cody. Yo, yeah. All right. If you got it, get it. So what happened? Brian Cashman said, all right, put your cards on the table. I'm going to put my cards on the table. Here's the ace card, though.
Right. Or like you call it the Trump card.
The Trump card. Do you got this?
Yeah.
Do you got it, though? You negotiate. And Dave Dombrowski is one of the oldest GMs, presidents in the book. You should know a leverage play. When you see a leverage play, my boy,
Right? Yeah.
you should know. If you know, and I love when these GMs act like, oh, we didn't know he was talking to such and such. Oh, you didn't? They ain't 40 teams. There's 30 of y'all motherfuckers, and all of y'all been cool for years. And now all of a sudden we don't know who's talking to who. Don't act brand new. Ivan, am I tripping, dog?
Yo,
I'm
you
being
know,
serious.
you know what Bo Bichette, and to a certain extent, Kyle Tucker as well. But you know what some of these guys this offseason have done? It kind of feels like girls who have a roster, right?
I
And they
mean,
go on like, certain dates. I'll go on a date with you. I'll go on a date with this guy. But none of these dates matter. You know why?
no.
Because she already knows who she wants.
She got the
I
man
just
back.
want I just want to see if any of you guys are actually worth me going out on these additional dates, you know?
Yo, dog, they got the ace boom coon at the crib right now. She got steak and lobster sitting at the crib right now with a stack of cash. You crazy? You could take on these Mickey D runs all you want to. Shorty got filet mignon sitting at the crib. I ain't playing with you. I got a $42 million a year offer, and I'm going to play around with y'all. The moment the Mets didn't get Kyle Tucker, the Phillies should have offered, they should have upped their offer by $40 million. Yo, don't worry, bro. We'll get you close. But you sat there and played, oh, we got him. No, you don't. 3 at 126 in your ass. Hold that.
Nah, Yo, Armand, what up, bro? Glad to see you here. Talking Mets, of course.
Hold that. I love it. And look, get into this point here. Cody Bellinger, congratulations, my boy. Because you also played yourself.
Really? You think so? By the way, before you continue, bro, credit to you because one thing that stuck in my mind when I finally saw that he was, coming back to the Yankees was when you said last week that if there were actually better offers out there for him, you said, well, why didn't he sign it by now? And guess what? They were never out there for him to begin with. And that's why he's going right back to the Bronx.
with his hat in his hand, feeling all types of stupid in the face.
Yeah.
Cody Bellinger, I got news for you. What's up? What's up? What's up? Nah, all good, brother. All good. All good. All good. All
How's it
good.
going?
What's up, bro? All good. As we put this up on the screen so you guys can get a look at this, right? Because I want y'all to look at this, right? I want us to look at this as a family, right? I'm gonna share my screen with y'all, right? So we can all do this as a family, right? Open this bad boy up.
By the way,
Come.
this comment here by Shrek, he says 2015 LOL Mets. I like how now listen, I know the talent is very different compared to what the Mets had then versus now in terms of starting pitching,
Mhm.
but the difference was the Mets held on to all of these guys back then, right? Now they're okay with moving on from some of them because they know what they could get in return.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is Cody Bellinger's deal. Cody Bellinger, 5-year deal, 162.5 million. Opt-outs after the second and third season and $20 million signing bonus plus a full no trade. All right, I'm stop sharing this now
20
because I
M's
want
up front. That's not bad.
I, I want to tell you something right now. You know why Brian Cashman walked around like he didn't give a what Scott Boras had? I'll tell you why. I will tell you why. He walked around like that because he knew Scott Boras didn't have what he said he had. If you got it, show it. Because guess what? And you know what scared him off? Cody didn't want to leave the Yankees. Cody was just trying to get the Yankees to go up another year. And the Yankees said, no, I'm good on that. I'm good on that. And he made out well. $85 million guaranteed the first 2 years.
You know what I do want to ask you? And I feel like I've heard this come up before, but I wonder if Scott Boras, how does he have like the control that he has on the media? Like some of these reports clearly are false, right? Some of these guys don't really have what we end up hearing out there for them to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder if he's like paying some of these guys, like, yo, here's a couple of dollars, start spreading this rumor for me. I want it to heat up, organically so that they can't really tell that it's me trying to put this out there. Cause that kind of makes sense just a bit. Now, I don't want to act like, I know it all because I don't, but it does sound like he has some sort of control on getting his narrative out there.
Of course he does. It happens to me every day. You know how many times people has leveraged this platform for me to spread news? Yo, get this out there for me. I come on your platform. Oh, you'll come on my platform? Let me get your email. Let's link up. No, I can't do it right now. I'm in the middle of a busy negotiation. Just put out the no. You want me to spread this information, you got to come on the platform.
Right.
Because here's the one thing I'm on. It is official. The Mets have just announced they've acquired Freddie Peralta. The deal is official.
There we go.
The agents use people every day. That's part of an agent's job. You're gonna get used, and they will use you, and everybody will use each other. But here's the reality of it. Scott Boras yesterday was putting all this press out like, yo, he could go to Mets. The Mets got an offer out. He could go to Queens. Yo, there's 2 other teams involved. Yo, blah, blah, blah. Yo, Cody could go to Philly. Yo, blah, blah, blah. Right? Because I had heard Philly, but I didn't hear it from Scott Boras' people. I heard it from somebody that's a rival agent of Scott Boras. Yo, I think Philly got a chance to get him because they lost Bo and John Middleton wants to do something. He's aggressive, the owner of the Phillies. So I thought Philly was a real possibility, right? Laugh. Because I saw it, and you know where it came from. John Heyman tweets out, oh, Scott Boras has. There we go. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Liz. Appreciate it.
Everybody's gonna get used at one point or another, right? It's just how far you willing to go to be used. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like everybody got an agenda, right? We have an agenda. Our agenda is to get these subscribers up so we can get the algorithm to get it popping out here.
True.
But the thing about our agenda is we straight in the face with ours. Yo, come on the channel, join the family, come join us. Some of these agents are snakes, B. And I wonder if it's a less experienced general manager, if they're sitting there talking and Scott Boras is playing, dangle the carrot, and the GM is like, yo, I gotta get into 6 years. Cash is like, yo, I've been doing this with you for damn near 35 years, B. I'm not the one. I like the player, but I'm not gonna break my back. I'm cool. You want the player wants to come back? Perfect situation. He got to come back on my terms.
Another thing I do want to ask you, Stefan, because I did have a busy night. And I was also busy earlier today. So obviously I know Cody Bellinger returned and for what he's coming back for. Mm-hmm. But was there any other information? Now I know he didn't get better deals, but just what he got, period. Like, did anything else come out from like other teams or no? Because I haven't seen anything else. I'm just interested.
So according to people that I texted back and forth with, there were deals on the table, shorter deals, 3-year deals, approaching $40 million.
Wow.
Jeff Passan confirmed as much on the Michael Kay show, but I had heard a couple of days ago that there were deals out there for him that were over $35 million, approaching $40 million, but it was short AAV.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted the long-term security. He wanted the 5-year. First of all, he was never getting 7 years. I came on this very platform and told y'all he wasn't getting 7 years. I don't care what patron saint you pray to. Mary, Jesus, Buddha. Ain't happening. So he got his 5 years and he understood, yo, I might not get a better deal than this. Because I get $85 million up front. Right, I get a $20 million signing bonus. Oh, by the way, I get an opt-out in year 2 and year 3. And you know what? If you're the Yankees, you know what you're praying that he does? Opts out. You know why? Because when he's 32, 33, 34, good luck finding the bag.
I hope so, because listen, the Yankees, they might want to flirt and still tangle with him.
Nah. What I'm telling you is they already showed you they're not. Because if we were going to play this flirty footsie game with you, we would have offered you the 3-year deal with 2 opt-outs and went through this madness again next year. Nah.
Right.
What's up? New person in here. Thank y'all.
What up, Mike?
What's up, Mike? How are you, bro?
Jules, I'm just like you. See that comment by Jules? I pay no attention to rumors. I'm the same way. So I like to hear things early on, right? But once, like, for example, the Cody Bellinger situation, that went on for far too long. Literally, especially after Bregman, Tucker, Bichette, Ranger Suarez, all of that happened last week. Cody Bellinger should have happened last week too, if we're being honest.
Talk about it. No, talk all the way about it. You ain't wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I've said this too. To everybody in here, there should be 13 likes on this video. There's 13 of y'all in here. There was 19 of y'all in here at one point tonight too. By the way, call your friends. Tell them we getting it cracking. 27 ounces is the place to be. Call your friends. I want 20 viewers in here.
Speaking of Cody Bellinger now being back with the Yankees, so I was taking a look at, the Yankees projected lineup going into 2026.
Mm-hmm.
And Stefan, you mentioned this to me during the regular season, right? This past season in 2025. And you said that one thing that you would have liked to see the Yankees get at some point, even if it were in this offseason, was a right-handed bat, right? Because if you look at the lineup, the only righties they have are what? Judge, Stanton, Volpe. If you want to throw in Caballero's going to get some playing time, but that's about it. Yeah. Everybody else is lefty. Literally everybody. You got what? 6 lefties in that lineup that are going to play every single day. Now, I know the lefties play well over the course of a regular season. in Yankee Stadium. Cody Bellinger being the prime example of that, right? When you look at his splits, how he performs at Yankee Stadium versus how he performs away. He's
Yep.
the prime example, right?
Mhm.
But when it's all said and done, man, those lefties don't really mean much come October. And we see it. We see
So
it.
I'll tell you this, all right, because I feel like I'm spilling the beans tonight. I'm giving you guys a lot of inside info, man. It's not usually like me. I like to, but uh, I was talking to two prominent baseball people earlier today, right? Who said they see the Yankees doing one of two things. Actually, they saw them doing both things. They saw them trading for a right-handed catcher. I don't know who the catcher is. I heard the name of Vasquez, the catcher. What's his first name? What's his first name? Uh
Christian Vasquez,
Christian Vasquez is the
the
name
one
that
who
they
used to play for Boston.
yes, it's
Oh,
the
okay.
name that they're talking about because they want to get a left-handed catcher. They're also having conversations amongst themselves of do we bring in Suarez to play from some first base, give him a 2-year deal, prove it deal, and get some righty pop in this line. I don't know if they do the Suarez thing just because it just doesn't fit with what they want to do. They already have a lot of, they want to get better defensively, and Suarez doesn't fit that bill. So to me, that doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
The one thing that I am fascinated with, I would go sign Austin Hayes anyway. Yeah, you got Bellinger done. Yeah, you know what your outfield pretty much is going to look like, but Austin Hayes feels like a guy that fits. High defense, good right-handed bat, got some speed, kind of fits the bill. I think that's somebody I would watch. Austin
And
Hayes.
also, too, if you're the Yankees,
Mhm.
I mean, listen, it's time we finally address this. We have talked about it briefly before,
Jonah
but
Heim, yeah.
what is going on with the outfield now? You going Judge, Trent, Cody Bellinger? What is going on with Jason Dominguez? And are we ever gonna see Spencer Jones? Because if not, can we please figure something out? Because listen, we cannot hold on to all these guys.
So
Some can stay, but some have to go too.
my best guess is that you'll see neither one of them in Yankee uniforms. I think both of them are going to be sent away in a package for something.
Wow, that's gonna have to be pretty good because
So my best guess is that the Yankees they dangle Jason in front of the Nationals. They dangle Jones. They put Jones. They put a couple other guys that are high in their system. I'm not gonna bore you with names, but I think Jones is the centerpiece that goes to DC, and Mackenzie Gore comes back because that's the only thing that makes sense to me. Now you'll say, but what if Trent only's on a 1-year deal? What happens next year? Listen, if the Yankees really wanted to give Spencer Jones a job, Spencer Jones, there's no way you give Trent Grisham a $22 million qualifying offer. There's no way. You let him walk because you know you have the center fielder in waiting.
right.
When you strike out, 40% of your at bats in the minor leagues, that sends red flags up to people. The guy hits a lot of home runs, but he strikes out a lot. All right. He's a good center fielder, but can he stay healthy? He's a tall dude. It's like having two judges in the outfield. And you got a big one, Roman center field. Don't love that. Don't love striking out as much. I think Jason, I could see them kind of like holding on to a little bit. Versatility, right? Still a little younger, only 22 years old. How old Spencer Jones? Going to be 25? Spencer Jones is the guy you trade right now.
Wow, I can't believe we're saying that right now because uh for some people, I remember at some point last season, some people were like, yo, when are we gonna see this guy come up? I kind of felt that way at some point too. But when you again go back to how the Yankees are currently constructed, that
Mm,
outfield is overly crowded, right? Like
it is.
before you even get to a Spencer Jones, you already guy like you already have a guy, excuse me, like a
Mhm,
Jason Dominguez, waiting to be called upon. And then
mhm.
after him is when you could finally start to think about a guy such as a Spencer Jones and the rest of the dudes that they have too.
Right. So look, these 2 points right here. Jones will be 25 in May, and he should have been called up already.
Yes, exactly.
I've been saying this for a year now. That would be a crazy package. Okay. So this up here. Dominguez, Austin Wells, Will Warren, Luis Hill, Chase Hampton for Gore and catcher Ruiz. Thoughts?
Damn, that is a lot. Excuse
Too,
me, Armand.
too. First of all, that's too rich. But I will do this. I'll tell you, you can have Dominguez, you can have Hill, and you can have Hampton. And you know what? I don't know. Matter of fact, take Will Warren out the deal, and I'll put Austin Wells in there somewhere, and you got yourself a deal. You got yourself a deal.
How do you feel? I know he was the guy who you were high on and you had some belief in at one point. How do you feel about Austin Wells? You know, is it still kind of too early or?
See, the thing about Austin Wells is he's very good behind the plate. He's not bad. He can catch. We know that. The guy's not bad.
He can do his job, yeah.
He can catch. He's serviceable back there. I think the thing with Austin Wells is offensively, he gets too pull happy, and Yankee Stadium is the worst place to get pull happy because you see the porch and you start trying to aim for it instead of getting into your normal swing. So getting Austin Wells out of Yankee Stadium might open his swing up more to use his opposite field power, to use his gap-to-gap power, to allow him to evolve into a more offensive force. Because Austin Wells can hit. Ain't nobody can tell me different. I remember when the Yankees drafted Austin Wells. There was questions whether he could catch at this level, not hit. Wow. We all knew the brother could hit. Right? Now it seems to be going in reverse. I think Yankee Stadium has an adverse effect on some people. Right? I think you see it with Volpe, right? Volpe tries to do too much. He gets too big. Instead of just, let your swing just do the thing, man. You got speed. You don't have to swing big. Jazz is a prime example. So, hi, Jazz. We're mentioning you again. Hello. Jazz is a prime example, right? Like, it's kind of drastic when you look at how these guys perform and you see it in the playoffs. They feel the pressure of, I got to produce right now. I got to produce right now. I got to produce because the fan base is going to kill me. At some point, Brian Cashman, I'm going to use a phrase he uses. This is not Stefan. This is a Cashman phrase. You can go Google it, kids. Somebody has to declare themselves. Declare yourself. If this is what you want to be, declare that. Spencer Jones, if you want to be the man, guess what? Spring training, you better cut that strikeout rate down, and I need to see 8 to 10 home runs in spring training. If you're trying to leave with the club, Spencer Jones, this spring training got to be the best spring training you've ever had in your life. Because guess what? You're tradable. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. You are tradable. And I'm going to tell you something right now. While his name may not be out there to the general public, there is somebody I know Brian Cashman wants.
Who's that?
He wants Joe Ryan.
Oh, Joe Ryan. Okay.
He was willing to give the Twins body parts last year. I'm being figurative, but you get the point.
Yeah, whatever. He was willing to give it whatever, yeah.
He was going. Sandy, same thing. What you need. Cash is walking out of here with one of these starters that is on the trade market. I can almost guarantee you he's walking out of here with something.
So would you say that these three are fair? Either Mackenzie Gore, a Joe Ryan, or Sandy Alcantara is going to be wearing a Yankee uniform?
One of the three. Take your pick.
All right.
I don't think Sandy, because the Marlins just did a bunch. You did Cabrera, you did Weathers. I don't think the Marlins do that.
Yeah, somebody got to be wearing the Marlins uniform pitching, right?
Right. So I say Mackenzie Gore or Joe Ryan are his leverage plays, and I think he calls Seattle up and says, "Yo, you can't keep all those pitches, bro. Come off somebody." Jerry, you like making trades, right? Come on. Let me get one of them young brothers. Bryce Miller, one of them young brothers got to come over here. Because this is the thing. I've said this, right? Let's play the game. Andrew Friedman, they make a trade. You don't know nothing about it. David Stearns, we had you heard rumors that he might be interested, but you didn't hear it was official till he got it done at the a half-yard line.
Yeah.
There's a sense, I get the sense that Cash is looking for something that is not out there in the general public. Nobody's even suspecting that he's looking at this going, what the hell is he doing?
I hope so.
One name I'm going to throw out there at you too, and you're going to, why would he do that? Watch the name Mitch Keller in Pittsburgh. Always liked Mitch Keller. Always liked him. Don't know if the Pirates do it, but I could see Cash on some, hey, this makes sense for us. Another name, I don't know if they do it, but Nick Lodolo, Cincinnati. Cincinnati's looking to trade some of their pitching. Brian Cashman might go to one of you don't want Nick Lodolo? I'll take him. You don't want one of these young brothers? I'll take him. He's walking out of here with something. Telling you. Because for as active as he's been, right? Because I don't think you get Peralta. I think the Mets package is hard. It's beatable. It's hard. I don't know if that's beatable if you're Cash, because that means Lombard's in the deal. That means, you know what I mean? That means you giving up something. That means you giving up Chase Hampton. One of these hot commodity pitchers was going to Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm. You know, speaking of the Mets and that deal again, I don't know how true this is, but I did read somewhere that originally the Brewers wanted Jonathan, and it was the Mets who said, we're not having this conversation. Yeah, so they hung up, and it seems like Milwaukee had to go back to the drawing board and look at what else the Mets have, because clearly they've got a lot, hence why they still got a deal done, right? But Milwaukee was like, all right, we aimed high. They shot us down. Let's see if we could end up with something else. And I still think what they got was, a quality return.
Armand, the only reason I'm going to disagree with you in this particular instance, you can't pay all these young brothers. You can't pay them. Yeah, Seattle ain't looking to trade none of these young arms, but can you pay them all?
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing I'm trying to get to, is like, we could say they ain't going to trade them, but can you pay them all? Do you think Green gets traded to the Yankees or possibly Ellie? I think either one of those are hard. That's why I didn't mention Hunter Green or Ellie De La Cruz. I think Nick Lodolo. I think one of those guys, maybe a Chase Burns, but I don't think either one of those brothers particularly get moved.
Well, Ellie is an interesting name. Yankees aside, and we spoke about this on one of the shows last week, Stefan. You had broke on the show that Ellie De La Cruz had declined an extension that the Cincinnati Reds offered. So one thing that we do know is, without him actually saying it himself, using his words, Ellie wants out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, no, maybe not Ellie wants out, but Ellie wants to see what the market materializes into.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He's a free agent at the end of the 2029 season.
Still got some time, right?
We got some time. The Reds ain't got no rush to trade you. I'm hoping the Mets can extend Peralta. Then I said this early in the show.
I think they will. They will.
Austin Wells and Chase Hampton for Mitch Keller. Interesting. Right? Like, at some point, you have to, like, I'm talking about a uncomfortable trade, because this is what it is going to take to get one of these brothers, is uncomfortability.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if and the other thing is, you know why you can't trade George Lombard? Anthony Volpe is not the shortstop past next year.
You think so, bro?
I guarantee you.
Wow.
George Lombard is snatching that brother's job. Fair or unfair, you have another season like the one he just had, because there ain't no excuse. Now at first it's like, oh, he's just getting used to the position. Oh, he's really young. Now it's the shoulder. Now it's the buh. No, it's year 3. No, year 4 actually. Is it year 3 or year 4? You think it's year 3?
Let's see. Anthony
Is it year 3? I
Volpe.
think it's year 3.
This is now year 4. So 23, 24, 25,
Oh,
26 would be year
this will be
4.
year 4. Yeah, nah, time's running out, my boy.
Right. Man, all 3 of those seasons, OPS in the 600s. It's rough.
Right. And so look, your OPS is in the 600s. I don't care if your glove is made of concrete enforced platinum. You cannot be a shortstop in this current day and age with an under 600 OPS.
Right.
We can't do
it. That's barely big league level material, if we're being honest. Right.
Listen, he's
so like 700, 750s is respectable, but
he's been below league average since the beginning of his career.
Yeah, with his bat. Mm-hmm.
And so make or break year for Volpe, as Emilio points out. What's up, bro?
I hope so, Emilio, please, because I've been over that guy.
Oh, I like that. Although I think Harrison Bader is going to end up back in Philly. A nice 2-year deal, about, I want to say, anywhere from 30 to 35 million. Harrison's back in Philly. All right, like it's tough. It's tough, but I think bringing Cody back had to do it. Makes the lineup a little bit more complete. Defensive versatility, kind of like it. Kind of got to see what you're gonna do with these young brothers though, because like you said, Jason and Spencer, you can't have 2 guys, can't have 4 outfielders for 3 spots. Just don't work. Somebody got to go.
Mm-hmm.
The game of musical chairs is gonna stop at some point, and when it stops, somebody's gonna be sitting on their ass.
Or 5 guys in this case with Spencer Jones, right? Even though he hasn't gotten a call yet, but how long are you really going to keep them down there in AAA before you decide to get rid of him? Or in this case, it's not going to happen, but give him the call.
And what does it say to other teams that he's one of your top prize prospects and you kept him down there for that long? What does it say? What are you hiding? What is he missing that he's putting these numbers up in the minor leagues? And yeah, he's not in the big league. He's not at the big league level yet.
And also, what does that do for his value as well, right? Like for the Yankees to view you that way, for them to have as crowded as of an outfield that they have at the big league level.
Yep.
Does that just simply mean that you aren't who, they thought you would be? Especially in this case, when it comes to a guy such as a Spencer Jones. It's interesting, man. It really is interesting. But it does seem like at least one of these guys are definitely on their way out at some point.
This is why the word challenge trades does not only apply to just Jazz Chisholm. The word challenge trades applies to the roster in which you got to get uncomfortable with some of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like you have to do some stuff that is going to hurt you. And one of the criticisms that me and you have both had about Brian Cashman is he holds on to prospects too long. Like you can't have him. And then by the time we see him, he's not the player we all thought he was.
You know what's funny, bro? So you are right, but see, it's how you word things, and how you worded it there was perfectly fine. But I remember there was one time we had a similar conversation. I don't know if it was last year or maybe in 2024. And we were talking about Cashman and the Yankees and how they go about certain prospects. And you said that they have to stop nut hugging the prospect. Yo, nut hugging is crazy, bro. I think that's the reason why I remember, because it was wild. But that goes for all of these teams, right? Even with the Mets. Yo, you got Luis Robert Jr., you got Freddie Peralta. You shouldn't be done, right? You still have other guys that, you may not need. Get rid of them.
Yeah. Listen, it's a victim of you're a victim of trying to do too much. You're trying to overthink, right? That's why I like the GMs that's just reactive. I ain't no time to think. I gotta go. By the way, I'm putting this out there in the ether, boys and girls. A little birdie told me that this is not going to be the last shocking trade you see this week. So there's going to be one more of these by the time we get to this weekend. I don't know why, but I feel like now that Freddie's off the board, either Gore or one of these starters in the trade market is going to go before any other free agent pitcher gets signed.
You think the Scooble stuff heats up at all or no?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. Mm-hmm.
Yo, I'm telling you, man. Yo, don't piss the Dodgers off. King Cash, I know you're here, but yo, it would not surprise me if they do one of the most craziest things of all time, and that's land Scooble. That would be insane.
So Scooble feels like the harder trade to make.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because of this, because of the arbitration stuff, because of all that stuff. This is why you got to have a general manager that's aggressive. You know who's the one general manager that's going to make this trade and not care? Andrew Friedman. I don't care. You're represented by Scott Boras. I run the Dodgers. I don't care. I don't care. I'll make the trade and fall asleep. And go night-night.
And start dreaming about my next championship.
My next 2 championships, my boy.
Yeah, bro. It's
good.
Crazy.
Like, he's the one general manager that is forget risk. Risk don't live in his world. I'm going to floor this car till the accelerator breaks. Because then I can go out and get a new car.
True. Especially when you have the type of money that the Dodgers are dealing with, right?
That's the thing, right? So it's like he may say, hey, Mets think they did something with this Peralta thing. All right, here's Scooble early in your neck. Hold that down. And you know what? If you're the Tigers, beggars can't be choosers because he ain't coming back.
No, not at all.
He ain't coming back. You be lucky to trade him and get something back for him. Oh, but he's a Scott Boras client. Oh, but what does it mean? It don't mean nothing. The Dodgers are the one team that says, all right, this don't matters. What? It don't matter. I'm not afraid. Fear don't live in my universe. If I want the player, I'm going to go get the player.
Yeah.
Dodgers are waiting for Paul Skeens. That's a good person to wait for, Jules. That's a great person to wait for, bro.
Could you imagine what the Dodgers are going to offer that guy? What, $75-80 million a year?
And he'd be worth every single penny of it.
Crazy, bro.
He might be the first pitcher in the big leagues to make $100 million a year.
Yeah, I think he gets very close. Very close. If Kyle Tucker got 60, now I know the deal is orchestrated differently, but if he got 60, if you just look at what he signed for without, all the extra stuff, Paul Skeens, boy, oh boy, is he shooting for the stars with whatever he gets in free agency.
Okay, this is where this is funny to me. Paul Skeens is going to go where the biggest bag is. Baby, you want to be a New York guy? Cool, but you could build the same crib in LA and be fine.
With the kind of money he's going to get, right?
What? Hollywood's right up the street.
And also, one important thing to mention too, Cam, shout out to you for leaving that comment, though. But also understand, if you really put the Yankees in the room, right, with some of these other teams that are going to shoot their shot in trying to trade for Scooble, we're thinking what? Maybe Mets. We're thinking Dodgers. And who else? We'll see who else wants to join the party. But very few have the wallet, the bank account, whatever you want to say, to enter the room to begin with, right? But there are other teams who I think are going to be more prone to giving up the prospects that have to get the job done. Because Yo, call me crazy. To get Schoolboy is gonna take like 7 to 9 players, bro. I think so.
I'm going to tell you this right now. That's why the only two teams I can see doing this are the Mets and the Dodgers. That's it.
Right.
Everybody else sit this one out. This is big boy talk. I'm playing with y'all. Sit down. Brian Cashman, come on, sit down. Come on. I don't even want to talk to you. Dave Dabrowski, take a nap. Change your diaper. Do something. Let's go. You got the grown folks sitting at the table now. Don't know if I want to.
Yo, King Cash, you talking early, bro. He's talking like the NLCS is tomorrow. He's like the Mets don't want to see y'all.
Listen,
y'all don't want to see our 4 aces.
And he got every right to talk like that. But here's my only retort to that.
Mm-hmm.
Winning 3 championships is hard. If the Mets get another starting pitcher, the conversation may have just changed.
I don't know. It could, but maybe I don't think it changes for me.
I don't think it changes much, but at least gets me to perk up my ears and go, all right, this ain't a walk in the park. Because right now I got them. This is like a layup, right? This is a layup. You ever seen layup line before the game where they just going through layup line? The Dodgers in layup line right now. Yo, we about to get this 3rd chip. You get another starter walking into that clubhouse in Queens, and there's still a deadline to be had. Oh no.
I'm going to go as far as to say this. This is a very, very early prediction. Today is January 21st. Wow, almost 11:30. Shout out to all of you guys who are rocking with us on this lovely Wednesday night. Make sure you like the video. Subscribe if you're new here. We hope you guys are enjoying the content to this point. We still have a couple of things to talk about.
They do. You're right. They do.
Oh, yes.
They do. And that's why I think Suarez, I think Eugenio Suarez ends up in Boston.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think so. And it's been something that has been mentioned, at least on this platform, for a couple of weeks now. We've talked about it. A big supporter of ours, shout out to Armand. Not sure if he's still here or not, but he also has been mentioning it too. The Red Sox fans who support us, they also are kind of like bracing themselves for that to be like the thing that ends up happening. So, listen, when it happens, we'll be here to cover it, but would it be a surprise? Not so much.
Nah. This might be that might be the most, for him and Cody Bellinger might be the most easiest acquisitions a team can ever make. He says I'm correct. Oh, you trolling out here, my boy?
Nah, man.
Salary floor 180, cap 300. Nah, your salary floor might be 200, and your cap might be more like 400. That's kind of where we at.
One is on the way. One is on the way for sure.
Well, if one is on the way for sure, here's what I will tell you, right? Because this is one of the things I wanted to get into too. Remember when we talk about words like challenge, difficulty, uncomfortable? We're gonna get uncomfortable because if this is what y'all want, if this is what you guys are pushing for, it's about to get uncomfortable out here. And we ain't talking about missing a couple weeks. We talking about missing full seasons. If y'all serious about the salary cap thing, because the players don't want it and the owners are pushing for it, these meetings are about to be ugly, man. I'm talking about damn near like people having to be separated, punches being thrown. I'm dead serious. You laugh. Even Siri knows. You laugh. You're talking about changing the way the game is the heart and soul of the game economically. These players are not just going to take that rollover and die. They're not. Credit to Evan Drellick from The Athletic. I'm not shilling, but he's been all over this. if you got a cap, there's got to be a floor. The one thing I will tell you is I don't think either thing happens. I don't think we get a cap, and I don't think we get a floor. What we do get is higher penalties on the luxury tax threshold.
Oh, that's not gonna do nothing, bro. Some of these teams run right through that, bro, as if
I
it were thin air.
So let me ask you a question. This is where me and you gotta have a heart to heart now.
Right.
You ready to put these mics up for a year?
No, no, I'm not. And that's going to be a very tough time for us, when we get to that point. But hopefully the chat is thriving. Hopefully the subscriber count is at a point where, listen, even through a rough time, such as a possible lockout that could be long term, people still come around, right? Because that's what we want.
No, but I'm asking the question of, they'll blow right through that, right? What's the
We see it right now. The Dodgers do it every year.
Of course, but I ask again, what's the alternative?
Listen, there's got to be some sort of there's got to be a middle ground. There's got to be a middle ground, whether it's a salary floor, the cap. Listen, from an athlete standpoint, not too big of a fan when it comes to the cap, because now you're limiting what some of these guys could earn.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Now the floor. Now you are forcing teams that don't spend as much to now have to spend.
Right.
But let's be honest, man. That still gives teams such as the Dodgers in this case, the Mets, or even the Yankees or some others to do whatever the hell they want if they want. So what happens? We all come back to what? Square one.
So this is where I want to see who's really bought it, to quote the great Master P. If you bought it, show me you bought it. Don't be talk about it, be about it. All this talk about, we want a cap, we wanted this, we wanted that. Miss games, miss checks, miss revenue, miss gates. Talk all that hot, spicy stuff you want to, because you talking about this a year out. At some point, billionaires don't become billionaires by losing money, and millionaires don't become millionaires by throwing money away. It's always going to be a sport between the haves and the have-nots, and we just have to come to grips with, and I've said this, Bob Nutting, sell your team. Mark Antonazzi on Milwaukee, you don't want to play in this level of the pool, sell your team. John Henry in Boston, guess what? Do Red Sox a favor. If you're going to hem hard, play around, sell your team. Hal Steinbrenner. I'm talking about Yankee brand, but here you are, him hard. You ain't about that life no more. Sell your team.
Damn.
Because at some point, I don't want to hear, we want to make it fair for everyone. It shouldn't be fair for everyone. This sport has always been based on local. Being local is what baseball is built on. It's a regional sport. That's why the RSNs, the regional sports networks, crumbling is a big deal. That's why baseball's like, damn, what do? We got these RSNs crumbling. What do we do? It's always been regional. It'll always be regional. So for us to act like this is not a thing, you crazy. And this is where I want to see people put money where their mouth is. Oh, you bought that life? You bought the missing games life? Come on, miss games. Because that's going to show me how serious we are. And I'm not talking about missing 10, 15 games. I'm talking about 162 full season. Put your on the table. Lay your cards on the table.
I would, even though you're saying that you wouldn't be surprised if we go that long without baseball. I'm talking a full season. I would be surprised. Not only would I be surprised, I would be hurt. I would be heartbroken. You name it.
Yeah, but you know why they know they can't do that? Look at the ratings they just got for these last two postseasons.
Right.
You'll be a fool not to capitalize on that. You got Netflix in the fold. You got NBC hosting Sunday Night Baseball now. You got the WBC worldwide on Netflix. Are you out of your mind?
I am gonna be honest though, when it comes to the ratings and King Cash, listen, I know this is gonna make you feel really good, but I don't know if any of the team outside of like the Dodgers could really pull that. Maybe the Yankees,
Maybe the
but
Yankees
nobody else is really pulling those ratings.
can.
So we really have to see what the World Series and the ratings are going to look like with the Dodgers not being in it looks like for us to really be able to have a better understanding of where the game is at in terms of eyeballs being on the television,
Well,
on whatever it is that people watch their games on these days to get a better understanding. Because when we look at the Dodgers
mhm,
World Series in 2024, World Series in 2025,
yeah,
might win another World Series in 2026.
yeah.
You're not really getting a good judgment on where the game is really at in terms of ratings,
So what I would say is, hold on. This is a very good point. The streaming deals will die, will be the death of sports. No one is gonna watch when they need to have 10 subscriptions. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
You're
We've
right.
talked about it before. It's now something that, depending on how many subscriptions you have, could be worth more than having one cable box at home, right?
Mhm.
Like that's how expensive it is. And the thing is, these things are also increasing. Like these companies, especially sports, right? They make it seem like, oh, just subscribe, have a free trial for 7 days and give us your credit card information and you'll lock in with us. And then 1 year goes by, yo, we going up $3 to $5.
And they bang you
Another
in the
season goes by, yo, we going up again. We have to.
then they bang you in the head, and you sitting there going, "Damn, why the streaming service is now like $20?"
Like really think about it. Could you imagine the price of Netflix over the next like year and some change? Especially now, didn't they acquire? Did it go through WB? Right? Did that the Warner Bros. deal or
Not
no?
not yet, not yet,
Okay,
but
right.
we're working through it. As soon
But if
as they
that goes through, the Netflix subscription is going up, right?
as soon as yo dog, as soon as they acquired the rights to the WWE, prices went like this.
Right. See, this is an interesting one. Jules, shout out to you for leaving this comment. So you're not sub to anything. Here's
Wow.
my question to you. Now I know there's, various ways to watch games. Some people have the privilege of, knowing a website, watching games for free. I know what to do, so I know others should know as well. But how do you watch a game? I know you're
80
not just relying on highlights and, clips and things like that.
$80 a month is great, but we had in there, bro.
Yo, Cam, you say that, bro? I know this is a little different, but that's right around where video games are at right now, right? Yo, video games are expensive as
Yo,
hell.
crazy, bro.
Talk about $100 games.
I would never. Why you think I haven't bought a fitted in mad long? All my fitteds I keep fresh, but I haven't went online and bought a fitted hat. Fitted hats are 45, 50, It was like, I remember when these things were like 25, 30, 50.
Yes, I remember. Yes, I used to,
What?
for the price of like one hat today. Back then, I
I
was
used
able
to
to
get
get two.
three.
Three. Damn, you must have had a plug. I mean, but then again, when you got like over 100 hats, somebody got to give you a discount. For real.
But speaking of discounts and all this stuff, we talked about center fielders early in the show. We got to do this, y'all. There were two center fielders inducted into the Hall of Fame. Let's pull this up so you guys can see our announcement of those brothers being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Two guys who I felt were eventually going to get in. I know Andruw Jones, he was on the ballot now. I think I have it here. This was his 9th year. And
Yeah.
for Beltran, this was his 4th time.
And he should have been in sooner, but we got this whole cheating scandal and
Yeah, now we know what the voters are willing to tolerate to a certain extent, right? Because I think had Beltran not been involved, even though this was towards the very end of his career, I agree with you, Stefan. I think he could have gotten in maybe a year or two sooner. Because even when it was all said and done, when Carlos Beltran retired, we could all sit here and agree. Everyone was looking at him like, yo, this is one of the greatest switch hitters of all time. Straight up.
There we go. Here's our announcement. There it is.
Follow us on Twitter, guys, if you're not yet.
I mean, Noah's electees into the Hall of Fame. By the way, I got a bone to pick, man. I got a bone to pick. Serious question, for real, yo. How the hell did it take Andruw Jones 8 tries to get in the Hall of Fame? Can somebody, for the love of
nine, bro.
9, thank you.
Yeah.
Can somebody, for the love of all that is holy, explain to me how that brother took 9 years to get into the Hall of Fame? Did we not see Andruw Jones play baseball? That brother is what?
Some people even consider him to be the greatest defensive center fielder of all time.
I'm not gonna go that far because there's 2 brothers I got a little ahead of him. One is Ken Griffey Jr. and the other is Jim Edmonds.
Really?
You seen Jim Edmonds play defense in his prime?
I remember Jim Edmonds, of course.
Jim
with
Edmonds,
the Cardinals.
No, I'm talking about Jim Edmonds when he was in Anaheim.
I remember him there too, yeah.
Ken Griffey Jr. was no joke either.
Well, the thing about Ken Griffey was he was a complete package, right?
Yeah.
He was great offensively. He was great defensively. And then he also brought like this cool, like he had something cool about him where you watched his demeanor on the field and it was like, hey, this guy, he wears his cap differently, you know? His swing is different, you know?
Yeah, but Drew, all I'm saying is, yo, dog, you serious? We serious? It took him 9 tries? But kids, when you get off the stream, if you're young, if you're not young enough, if you're not old enough to remember Andruw Jones, go look at that Brothers baseball reference. Are you kidding me?
That is true. It's good that you said that because we do have some teenagers who watch us. We had some of them in the chat last week, like 18, 19 years old.
Yo, Andruw Jones, son. What he finished with? 400 home runs?
Andruw Jones, I'll tell you right now. Well, I know he won like over 10 Gold Gloves.
10 Gold Gloves, 400 home runs.
Let's see.
He
had 434 home runs. He fell just short of 2,000 hits.
That's crazy,
let's see.
Bro.
Gold Gloves. He got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I feel like LeBron did. Not 1, not 2, not 3.
No, are you? Nah, you bugging, bro.
Young Andruw Jones was a freak, bro. He was something else.
Did you see Carlos Beltran in his prime switch hitter that hit over 400? That hit over 400 home runs, and I think he has like over 250 stolen bases.
Yeah, I watched Beltran for a majority of his
Carlos
career.
Beltran was that dude, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And coming from you, that's crazy because he started playing with the Royals. That's crazy.
Shrek, did you? Well, maybe not, right? Because I know we were probably fairly young when Beltran was there.
Nah, bro. Bad take. I gotta agree, bro.
Wow, Shrek, you don't think Carlos Beltran should be in the Hall of Fame, bro? Yo, bro, he's one of the greatest switchers of all time.
His best years wasn't in KC. Like, nah, stop. His best years were with the Mets.
Mm-hmm.
When he got to Houston during that 04 playoffs, when he went absolutely insane, when he hit 8 home runs in the playoffs, and then he went to the Mets and went crazy.
Right.
Nah, don't do that.
He went to the Mets and he was doing 40 and 100, 30 and 100. It
easily. Carlos Beltran's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Emilio with the callback, 91 of the 96 series when Andruw Jones went crazy in Yankee Stadium.
See, this is why, to go back to what Shrek said there, this is why I personally, if I was a voter, I'm going to cut Beltran some slack, is because of how you ended this off here, Shrek. Because it happened at the very end, now everybody would view this differently, right? To each his own.
Mm-hmm.
If I had the opportunity to vote, Beltran would have got in regardless, even though he still cheated, whatever, however you want to view it, because it happened at the very end, bro. What are we going to kill guys for messing up at the very end of their careers?
That's the thing. Right. So Big Papi shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame either. He was in the Mitchell report.
I've heard people mention Big Papi. I've heard people
Mike
come at
Piazza.
John Rodriguez, Mike Piazza.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you can't act like it's holier than thou.
I've been hearing this for years, bro. I remember growing up, so many people would throw this left and right, like, oh, y'all buy everybody. All of you guys are on roids.
So that's what you should be saying to the Dodgers now, because they buying everybody.
Minus the steroids, right? At least they're doing it clean.
We don't know that.
I know, right?
We don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to cast any aspersions, but we do not know that. Scandal was Beltran's year 20. A young guy without much shade, and I'd let him in.
Oh, so he sees it in the reverse. So we view it kind of similar, but the timing in which it happened, we're on opposite ends. Whereas Shrek is not okay with the fact that it happened when he wrapped it up. I'm okay with the fact that it happened at the end, you know?
Listen, at the end of the day, it happened. There's nothing we can do, right? Look at Andy Pettit admitted he used steroids. He's at 48% on the ballot, bro.
Mm-hmm.
He got a chance to get over 50 next year.
Let me see this. So Chase Utley, he had 59%. Andy had 48%.
Yeah.
Felix Hernandez, 46%.
Yeah.
Manny is now off the ballot. A-Rod's at 40%. Interesting.
Say that again. What's this? Big what?
Big Steinbrenner. Is he talking about Steinbrenner?
Yeah, Steinbrenner did the same thing. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
The Dodgers did it. The Yankees and Red Sox did it in the early 2000s. It's the way of the sport. It happened. Like, it happens.
Yeah.
Somebody else is going to do the same thing in the next 15 years, and we're going to be sitting there like, oh, damn, is it ever going to stop? No.
You know what I think should happen, especially when it comes to the guys who did use performance-enhancing drugs?
And admitted it?
Right. I think everyone should get it. Right? Now, if you disagree, don't kill me yet. Right? Because I'm not mad at you guys for disagreeing. Feel free to disagree, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to including everything that has come with the game over the years, the past 20, 30, 40, 50, for as long as the game has existed, I think when you put all of what a lot of these guys who are Hall of Fame worthy, right, in a museum, you know, their cleats, their jerseys, certain balls, certain bats, you know, just everything that these guys have touched, period. I think it's important to include on the descriptions of whatever it is that you're describing, that you're showing some of these players have in the museum, include the fact that, yo, he did this, but he was caught in such and such year. Now, do whatever you want with that information, you know?
Yeah. By the way, Shrek, what off the field stuff are we referring to, bro? You
What did he do? Did he do something? I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
If he did something, that's news to me.
No, because I've heard people say like he was on steroids, and you look at the end of his career, he tapered off. And listen, the game in the 90s was different, which is why you should let everybody in, because everybody knew what was happening. Major League Baseball knew what was happening. Bud Selig knew what was happening, and he didn't do nothing about it. Now to get
arrested for a dispute with his wife.
So
I don't think that should have you out of the Hall of Fame.
I don't care nothing about that. This ain't the Hall of the morally good. This is the Hall of Fame.
Right? Yo, some of these guys who are in the Hall of Fame, now we don't know who exactly they are, right? Well, maybe we do for some, but some of these guys were high as a kite back then, drunk as a you know what.
So let me ask you this then. Should CC Sabathia not be in the Hall of Fame because he was an alcoholic?
I know it's tough, man. It's a tough thing to really
judge.
Wait.
Should There's some stories about them Oakland A's teams, Canseco, Dave Stewart, and all them dudes. Should they be in the Hall of Fame? Dave Stewart's in the Hall of Fame, by the way. Fair. All that's fair. But there's not to me, there should not be a morality clause. If between the lines you were great at what you did, all that should, you know what I mean?
Should Diddy not be in jail? Yo, Cam, you are crazy, bro.
You know what I'm saying? I just think it's hard when you start getting into gray areas. That's completely different. You can't. Nah, man. Because who knows what he was doing to his wife behind the scenes when he was lit? You don't know.
Right.
You don't know if he was beating his wife, God forbid. You don't know what the family dynamic was like when he was lit.
Right.
So alcohol plays a factor in all that. I just think we can't get into people's morality clauses. I think it's hard. It's a slippery slope.
Right. So let me ask you this, Shrek. Do you think when Aroldis Chapman finally hangs it up, do you think he's not a Hall of Famer? Because I think Aroldis Chapman is a Hall of Famer. Isn't he another guy who has gotten caught up with something similar at one point? Right? When he was with the Yankees. Didn't he, Stefan, or am I wrong?
You're right. Before he got traded to the Yankees.
He got caught up with something, right?
They don't see the light of day. But theirs is documented. Yo, we did cocaine. We hold up. This right here, Babe Ruth is in there.
Oh man, don't let Emilio tap into that history book. History 101 with Emilio. Anybody here like social studies?
Nah, you good, bro. You good. Hall of Fame is based on character off the field. A lot of people favor it and all that. That's another one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's tough. Chapman has Hall of Fame stats, but I disagree, bro. I disagree because there's so many skeletons that are on that stage. We don't know what all these guys did in their personal lives.
Who are alreity in there right now.
Yeah, we don't know what everybody did. Like, so the cast aspersions and say, well, this person did this, and then shit. There shouldn't be no Hall of Fame then, because everybody got skeletons. You don't know who did what when. And I'm making a joke, but he said that's where I'm at. If you cheat or get serious off the field stuff, that's fine. But obviously the whole disagrees. Yeah, that's easier said than done, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gray area that's there. Because,
you know, I do want to give credit to Shrek, right? Because in a way, what it sounds like he's saying is the Hall of Fame is the Hall of Fame, right? Like it should be exactly what it sounds like. It shouldn't be this thing where we're letting criminals in. It shouldn't be this thing where we're letting alcoholics and all these types of people in. I think it's kind of tough, man, but because a lot of people aren't perfect either, right? Even people who appear to be perfect.
That's what I'm saying.
Even they may have some things going on too. But I understand what he's saying. The Hall of Fame is prestigious.
It is prestigious, but what I'm saying is if we're going to take the moral stance of everybody, and Shrek, we love you, bro. It's good conversation. Mm-hmm. I just think it's hard. Like if that was something that they established from the very beginning, you'd have a point.
Yeah.
Where if they realized that somebody did something that was untoward to somebody's wife, or they did something that was untoward, and they're still in the hall, then you got a point, right? I just think it's difficult because we don't know what really happened. We weren't there. The other thing is too, a lot of these players didn't come up in the social media era. So they were able to get away with certain things because there was no camera phones. Nobody was on Twitter 24/7. There was no TMZ. Nobody was searching for, yo, did you beat your wife last night and didn't tell nobody? Or did you cheat with 7 means at the club? Like, come on, bro. Like, it's tough. It's tough to say what works and what don't work.
Mm-hmm.
What I do know is that there should be a morality clause, but it's a very hard slope. It's a slippery slope. You can't put in Beltran and Jones. Yeah, you kind of can.
For that reason.
Yeah, that's the reason why they get in.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, listen, I tell you this. I think there's going to be a special committee in a couple years that are going to look at the cases of Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, and all these players. And they're going to say, steroids be damned. These guys' numbers are too impressive to keep out of the Hall of Fame.
Right.
The only person that doesn't get in for sure because he got caught twice after it was already established is Manny Ramirez.
Oh yeah, Manny's done. Manny's done.
And A-Rod.
A-Rod as well.
Everybody else is fair game.
Right.
Because you can't. Bud Selig turned a blind eye towards the steroid stuff in the 90s and in the early 80s. He knew what was going on. But what happened after the lockout in 94? Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't.
Jules with the comment that matters most here. It won't matter because we won't be here.
Hey.
And Jules, I'm sure you done seen it all, right? Jules, speaking of that, by the way, guys, we want to wrap up before we hit the 2-hour mark. So we got a few minutes left.
Wrap it up right now, yeah.
Jules, you being a baseball fan for as long as you've been watching now, what are some of the craziest stories you've heard, like in the 60s, the 70s that these guys were doing? What do you remember? Put me on, please. I want to know.
Not trying to erase these guys from history, Bonds and all guys on. I just think it shouldn't be that's fair. That's fair.
See, here's my thing. If you're gonna have their memorabilia in there, you're gonna have something that Bonds did, right? You're gonna have something that Pete Rose did, A-Rod did. Just put them in.
Right.
Put them in the description, as I mentioned, about who they are. Let the fans be the judges,
They did speed back then. Damn, son.
What the hell is speed? Is that a term for something?
No, speed was a drug back then. Methamphetamine.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Black Mollies. Is that what they called it?
Yo, there was a story that the Mets used to have. There was a drug called speed. They used to call them speedballs. They used to do them on a bench.
Yeah, I never heard about that.
For concentration. Yeah, Google it.
Wasn't I think Jim Leland back in the days was like smoking cigarettes in the dugout.
Oh, Darryl Strawberries was drinking a 6-pack in between innings, bro.
Yo, could you imagine with weed, for example, being legal in certain states? Could you imagine if players were just blowing it down in the dugouts these days? That would be crazy.
Diet pills.
Dan, getting high off of diet pills is crazy. That's something else.
Greenies were in the clubhouse back then too. Yeah, B.
What is that? What greenies? What's that?
Form of methamphetamine. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Listen, them clubhouses must have been stinking back in the days.
Cut your appetite and get you revved up. Yeah.
So that sounds like what a lot of these players are doing now with all these different flavored tobaccos and them wanting to chew it. Like maybe that kind of gives them a similar feeling without doing all of the extra stuff,
That was the Ozempic before the Ozempic was, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I've spoken to some people who, chew on some of these things. And I've always wondered, like, yo, why do you do that? And some people have told me, a couple have said, like, yo, it kind of, I feel a little different. I feel like I could go out there and do more,
Yeah.
Zen, yes, I have heard that, Shrek. Yup, big time.
Mm-hmm. All right, before the pharmaceutical companies kick us off, we gotta go, y'all. I ain't trying to.
Hey, by the way, any of these people watching, we are a baseball show. So any tobacco shows want to, sponsor the show, maybe we get a couple more players on the channel who are interested. Join the chat, join the family. We might have some potential buyers. You never know.
I ain't gonna dip, but I know some people who might.
For real. Nah, this was fun though. We had to unfold a lot. We got into everything. It's been 5 days, as I mentioned at the top of tonight's show, since the last time we were here. But it was good that we had that time off because look at what we came back and had to do. Stefan, I don't know what else you want to say, but I'm good.
I'm out, y'all. This was fun. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. So peace, y'all.